Welcome to News Now Alberta. This is Special Ed. Today we're looking at a woman who's been arrested for having a stroke while driving. She crashed her car and a rookie cop thought that she was on drugs.
Cops, they decide to arrest somebody because, well, they had the audacity to have a stroke. Put it up, full mass. A jury in New Jersey has awarded a $12.9 million verdict. Did you hear that number? $12.9 million last week against a state trooper who failed to recognize that a woman, a motorist, was having a stroke, decided to arrest the motorist for DUI, crucially delaying medical treatment. After her attorneys this caused severe brain damage and left her permanently disabled. Cheryl Rhymes of Jersey City, then 48, was dressed in business attire, driving to a job as a marketing executive. This happened on the morning of October 17th, 2017. She suffered a stroke on the New Jersey Turnpike. That's in the lawsuit. Her car then hit the right guardrail of the highway and was still running when the state trooper, who was a rookie, the state trooper, Jennifer Albuja, approached at least 30 minutes later. This was at 9:14 a.m. Due to the stroke, Ms. Rhines was unable to respond to commands.
So this cop was basically coming to an accident for all that she knew. The ambulance should have been called right away if there was an accident. The woman wasn't responding. Maybe she hit her head. Like, you don't jump right away to she's drunk or she's on drugs.
Using the right side of her body to put the vehicle in park or turn it off. So the trooper did so. The complaint says she was also unable to speak and respond to commands from the trooper, such as retrieving her license from her bag. The trooper, according to a brief submitted by her attorneys, noted that Ms. Rhines was unresponsive to most of her questions and that she tried to put her seatbelt back on, seeking to assess whether she had driven off the road due to being under the influence or an underlying medical condition. The trooper posed a question to Ms. Rhines. Have you been drinking? Have you taken any drugs? Are you diabetic? When the trooper then returned to the patrol car, she saw Rhines get out of a vehicle and try to walk. She was, quote, wobbly on her feet and kept herself from falling by grabbing onto the side of a vehicle. She was in the middle of a stroke. The trooper at this point decided that Rhines was under the influence, maybe an unknown narcotic, and then decided to place the individual under arrest, handcuffing her, putting her into the back of the patrol car. The trooper then proceeded to search the woman's car and purse, finding no evidence of drug use. The trooper then testified that she did not notice during the encounter that Rhines had facial drooping, including drooping eyelids, one of the several known symptoms of a stroke in progress, along with slurred speech, disorientation, incoherence, staggered walking, her attorney said.
Now, if someone was this drunk or this much on drugs, you'd call an ambulance. There's clearly too much drugs in the system. But no, she had to arrest her.
Now, here's the problem. When do you call the ambulance? When do you make sure there's medical intervention? Even if you believe the individual is somehow on a narcotic, maybe a prescription drug, or even under the influence, if they are in that condition, they need to go to a medical professional. Period. They can barely talk, walk, stand. But she was not under any type of drug or alcohol-induced influence. When they arrived at her home, excuse me, when they arrived at her home, police at her home police station. This was in Somerville, 10:32 a.m. So check the time. All right. The trooper noticed that Rhines had now vomited on her face and shirt. The complaint says Rhines was unable to get out of the car and had to be carried into the police station. Once again, no medical intervention. A few minutes later, another trooper, Alejandro Molina, noticed that Rhines had what? Asymmetrical drooping on one side of her body, and said, I think she suffered a stroke.
Like, oh my God, it's about time. This woman's brain was shutting down by this point. And it took this long for someone to notice that, oh, she's not on drugs.
Realizing that she was in need of immediate, emergent medical attention, that trooper did the right thing and got medical intervention. Called the ambulance. As they waited for EMTs to arrive, they kept her shackled on the floor despite the medical emergency. Her attorney, Dennis M. Donnelly, told the New Jersey Monitor, Rhines was taken to a nearby hospital. She was then diagnosed with a stroke, treated with medication to clear a blood clot that was impeding blood flow to her brain. This is why the timing was important to get her medical attention. They did not. Unfortunately, by that point, the approximate 2.5 hour delay caused by defendant's conduct resulted in the death of significant brain function and permanent lifelong disability, the complaint argues. Ms. Rhines, who spent 2 weeks in the hospital and another month in a rehabilitation center, now has debilitating speech, cognitive, and motor deficits, all of which are considered permanent by the medical professional. She cannot return to work. She will require lifelong home care, medical treatment, supervision, the lawsuit says. Let's go to the jury award. So the jury did not see it that way, and after a nearly month-long trial, January 29th, initially awarded Rhines $19.1 million to cover future medical care, emotional distress, pain and suffering, loss of employment, loss of life. However, after reviewing the evidence under the guidance of New Jersey Superior Court Judge Thomas Vina, the jury determined that 60% of her disabilities resulted from the delayed medical response and 40% from the stroke itself.
So they were able to calculate that only 60% of what happened is the cop's fault. Like, give her the 20 million. A lot of people have strokes and live fine afterwards. The delay of over 2 hours is absolutely crazy.
Which the trooper did not call. So they reduced the award by 40%, then factored in some additional medical costs, which lowered the final judgment to $12.9 million, according to a proposed order filed by the courts. Very sad story. The reality of negligence and also lack of just basic humanity.
There was so much wrong here. This cop didn't do her job properly. An ambulance should have been called a long time ago. It was an accident. Maybe she hit her head. Maybe this is why everything was so weird with her. Like, to jump right away to, oh, she's on drugs after having an accident is kind of crazy. What do you think of this? Do you think she should have got the whole 20 million? Because I do. Let me know in the comments. Please like, share, and subscribe. Check out my Patreon, where for $1 a month you can get my videos a week in advance with other perks coming. Thank you.